Hello and welcome to this Blender tutorial by CG Viking. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a balloon. I'm also going to show you how to make this string attached to the balloon. We'll make a quick scene looking like this, rendered like this, and make sure you're on Blender 2.8 by clicking here in the splash screen. Just view this version number up here. 2.8 or above is recommended for this tutorial. So in our default view, we have a camera, a cube, and a light. We're going to delete the cube and we'll delete our light in this case because we don't need it for later. And Shift A and add a UV sphere. That's going to be the base of our balloon. So press 1. And we'll just scroll in, pan with Shift and middle mouse button, and we'll press Tab to go into edit mode. Vertex select is already selected, so just hit the bottom face here. Click this round thingy at the top here called proportional editing. Make sure it's smooth. And we'll just press G to grab, and you'll see this circle here. What happens is, in the radius of this circle, my selection will affect also the rest of the model. So we can now drag everything in proportion with the model itself. So I just want to scale that up. And I'm just going to drag down my balloon to be a good size. I think this is a good place to start. Just left click to make the selection. And while we're in edit mode, we're going to scroll in at the bottom here. Just panning around to see the bottom of the balloon. Selecting face select. Pressing C and just selecting all the faces. You can always do a loop selection here, but in this case it's quite fiddly to get that to work. So selecting with C is fine. Pressing enter and then delete. I'm deleting the faces, and now we have a hole in our balloon. So this is going to be the base of our balloon and where we extrude the knot of the balloon. So we'll change to edge select mode, and we'll go to the bottom of our balloon and double click to select the whole ring. When we have this ring selected, we're just going to pressing S to scale that down, and make sure you scroll in your proportional editing to not make it that big. So we want the knot part of the balloon to be quite small, something like that. And we'll press 1 again, scroll in, and we'll press E to extrude. Press E to extrude, and then pressing O to turn off our proportional editing, S to scale, and left click to apply. Now we have a nice little knot at the bottom of our balloon, but as you can see, the balloon is all flat shaded. So we'll just hit shade smooth, and we'll go to this wrench icon here and add a subdivision surface. And there you go. There's our balloon. So we can fill in this hole. So we'll do that just quickly. Pressing tab again with this ring at the bottom here selected. Press F. And then keep it selected. We'll go to item here, and on the mean crease, we'll just drag that out. Press I to inset the face. And we'll press Ctrl R to make some loop cuts at the bottom so we get our knot to be totally flat at the bottom. There you go. That's how you do that. Now we have our balloon. I want to make the bottom part here just a bit wider. So I'm just going to wireframe mode, pressing Z, and make sure I'm on face select mode, and I'll press B and I'll drag this bottom part here, clicking the move tool and just pulling it down just a bit. There we go. Now we have a perfectly looking balloon. Let's start making the string of our balloon. So first I'm just going to move my balloon upwards a bit, and I'll press Shift A and add a curve. A bezier curve is fine. While the curve is selected, go to Object Data Panel here, pressing Geometry and Extrude. And now you see when we scroll in here that we have nice looking string for our balloon. I'll bump the resolution up to 24 and I'll press 1. I'll rotate this string here and I'll press E, or Tab rather. So in edit mode, we're just going to press E to extrude and we'll start working on our knot. So in order to select your little ribbon part here, you can press either the middle vertice or the edge vertices. So the edge vertices will rotate around the actual ribbon part, and the middle vertices will move the entire point of this ribbon or string rather. So make sure you look around the balloon when you're working with this, and we'll just starting extrude our little balloon part here. So we see that this part of the string is all the way up here, so we're just going to drag that down and just try to rotate it as best as you can. I won't lie, this is quite a fiddly process, but we'll make it work. So R to rotate, drag it around. Don't give up in the middle of this. And we'll press E to extrude again. Make sure we're going around this balloon's neck rather. And then pressing G to grab, left clicking the points here to make the curvature smaller. Starting to look like something here. Oh, and this one is all the way around like that. So what we try to achieve here is just to make the string look like it's going around, not physically holding on to the balloon or anything. So this one here, press 1, and we'll just rotate the string part here. Now, whenever you make a change, it looks like you're breaking the string part here, but don't worry, we're getting there. So this part here needs to go around like that. I'll just scale it so making sure I select both of these, and I'll just press S to scale to like tighten the knot a bit. And then we'll press G to grab. And this one, I want it to go. You can see we have a problem, an issue in the front. And a bit down. And then now comes the... we'll scale it down just a bit more to make that go perfectly around the neck of the balloon. Now we can go more into a detailed view here. Scale it up and down. Make sure it fits. Now, the tricky part with working with path or bezier curves like this is whenever you rotate one part of the of your line here or your bezier curve, the whole thing rotates. So if you want to twist individual points, let's say it looks like this, you can always press Ctrl T, and now you will control the rotational point of each individual vertice. So that's handy. I think this is good for this tutorial. Good enough. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect for this style of scene we're making here. So I just want to make the balloon part here, or the string rather, go from the bottom of the balloon. Now it's looking like it's coming from the bottom behind, twist around once, and with that small change we lost our perfect rotation. So I'm just going to press Ctrl T on that particular vertex there. There you go. That's looking like something. If you haven't already, please go ahead and save your project using File and Save As. Now we are ready to set up our scene. Our balloon is done. So I'll press Alt R and RX90 on my camera. I'll drag it to the center here. I'll press 3 on my number pad, G to grab, making sure my camera will get my balloon. I'll drag from the top right corner to make a duplicate window, and I'll press 0 on the number pad. Now in this right portion here, I'll press G to grab. Left click to release. Now we can start looking at our scene. So we'll press this camera tab and we'll press cycles for render engine. Make sure you're on GPU compute. If you don't have a dedicated GPU on your laptop or whatever, just set it at CPU. So in this window right here, we're going to press C and rendered. We're also going to press Ctrl B and drag a box around our camera view, just to make your machine just render what's inside the camera's view. Right now the balloon scene is quite dark. First we're going to add some reflection in our background, so we press this World tab here, pressing color, and we'll just do a wave texture and we'll scale it up quite large. This is just for reflection. We won't use that as a background. We go to ray visibility and we press camera so we don't see it, but the reflection or the diffuse, glossy, and transmission, all these settings will take effect. Then we'll add a little background here, plane, RX and 90, drag that behind our balloon, press S to scale, make sure it's covering our scene here. So now our balloon has disappeared, but don't worry, We'll add some lights so we can see it better. I'll add some color to my balloon first. So just click your balloon, press this button right here, press new, and then we'll go to the glossy shader, drag that down, and make sure it's not too glossy. I'll do a red color for our balloon in this case. And we'll go ahead and put some lights in our scene. So hit Shift A, add a plane, and we'll drag this to the top, pressing 1, R to rotate, and G to grab, and S to scale. Now we have a mesh that we will put an emission shader on to make the balloon have more reflected light on the actual balloon itself. So with this plane selected, I'll press new, I'll go to surface here, and I'll press emission. Now you can see we have this faint reflection at the top right here. So we'll increase the strength to 10. Already we can see we have a nice reflection going on the top right here. Pressing 1, pressing Shift D, and we have move our lamp number 2 to the down in the left corner. Left click to release. Now we want to make this background a bit darker. So left click on your plane background here, pressing new again. I'll make that a diffuse background. And I'll make it, maybe I'll make it a reddish color. So red on red. And we'll do it a bit darker for the balloon to really stand out. And we'll make a circle, pressing Shift A and circle, tab into edit mode, F to fill it, shift click one of these two lamps here, and Control L, materials. Now we just applied an emission material on this circle here, which will work as our key light and background light. So press 3 to go into the side view, and I'll rotate while holding down Control, and I'll move my key light here to just behind our balloon. I'll increase it and move it closer to the balloon so we have this like rim light here. But one big problem we have is the light showing up in our render, and we don't want that. So while the lamp is selected or our light is selected, pressing this object properties panel, going to visibility, and clicking this camera ray visibility here, we'll get rid of that. So I think my background is probably just a bit far from our balloon itself. So I'll just drag that closer to this scene right here. And our string itself still hasn't have any material, so we'll select that as well. Hit this material property here, pressing new. And I'll just going to go to glossy here as well. That could be a silver color, so drag that down. To see this a better view, I'm just going to turn off gizmos and turn off the selection. So we have this silver looking string here. Right now I'm finished with this one balloon here, but I want to add more balloons. So how do I do that? Just click both the balloon and the string, pressing 1, and I'll just Shift D and grab it. I'll rotate it. Maybe I'll push it so it's a bit behind the other balloon. I'll do the same again, Shift D. Make sure you select both the balloon and the ribbon while selecting it. Pressing 1 again, and I'll just rotate it so it's like 3 balloons here. Make this go a bit closer. Okay. Now we're talking. You can always click your balloon string here and adjust the way the string is facing. So maybe in your scene your balloons are flying away, you want to make that illusion, so you can just press G. You can always also make an extrusion to make the string go out of frame. It's a cool effect. E to extrude. And there you go. There's your balloons. Or make sure you go to the render tab, performance, and choose a higher value in tile size here. So I'm going 256 on both. I'll go to 128 is fine. I'll go to this view layer window here and go to click denoising. And I'm going to press F12 and I'll render my balloons. Just make sure to wait a bit. And there you go. There's your balloons. If you have any questions about this particular tutorial, please let me know in the comments down below. Please subscribe if you haven't. And there's also a ribbon tutorial on my channel covering just how to use this bezier curve tool if you want to learn that first or want to get better at using the bezier curve. Please check that out, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.